Algebra 2, this is Chapter 6, Section 4. There will be 2 videos in this sequence. What we want to do here is we want to solve this, and we're going to solve it by completing the square. And when we complete the square, well, we know that 25 is a perfect square, so we already have this square completed. 12 is not a perfect square, so our answer is going to be irrational. You want to double check and make sure you've got a perfect square before you get going. So the square root of 25 is 5. So the square root of 25 is 5. And then if you take 5 times 2, you should end up with that middle coefficient. And 5 times 2 is 10. So this does, in fact, meet the criteria of being a perfect square. And what does that mean? Well, that means whenever I go to factor this, that 5 times 5 gives you the 25, and negative 5 plus negative 5 gives you the 10. Which means that this is actually x minus 5 squared. And that's kind of important because it helps us solve this problem kind of by factoring. We're no longer equal to 0, so we can't just say the answer here is 5. We're equal to 12, so it's going to get a little different answer. This is why we use our square root property. So if we square root one side, we have to square root the other side. And so when we square root over here, we're going to square root over here. And remember, when you square root a number, your answers are positive and negative because we've got the squares going on. So this actually becomes an x minus 5 is equal to a positive or a negative square root of 12. And that has to do with this squaring here. When you square a negative, let me make a little side note here. So negative 6 squared and positive 6 squared both equal 36, a positive 36. So we're going to have a positive and a negative part to our answer. So that's what this says, is we've got a positive and a negative part to our answer. Then to get x by itself, we would add 5 to both sides. And so x is going to be equal to this 5 plus or minus the square root of 12. And don't get confused, that's not one thing. That actually says 2 different things. That says 5 plus the square root of 12, and it says 5 minus the square root of 12. And it's just a notation we use in order to show that we're doing the plus or the minus, and we don't have to write it twice.